Hi, my name is Todd Olthoff. I'm pastor to couples and small groups at Saddleback Church. And it's great to be with you here to share a little bit about what we're doing with couples ministry and how we got to where we're at today. As we got started and we took a look at what we were already doing for couples, we did pretty much what every other church does. We had a premarital counseling program where we did a good job preparing couples before they got married, and we had a good counseling program on the backside after they messed it up. But we really didn't have any intentional model or process to develop healthy marriages in between. Sure, we did occasional events and we had classes, and all these things were great things, but we didn't have that model of marital health that would help couples understand what a healthy marriage looks like and grow that marriage to a place where they saw it as a part of their spiritual growth and spiritual health. Now, I know many of us are taught that when you start a ministry, you should have your own vision and mission statement for that ministry, and if it's really going to be important, you need to add it to the values statement of the church. Now, I was pretty certain that Pastor Rick wasn't going to change the vision and mission of Saddleback Church, and he wasn't going to accommodate the whole values statement for me or for couples ministry, nor did I believe that he should do that. What I believe is every church should stay focused on the overall vision and mission of that church, which is the Great Commandment and the Great Commission. In fact, if you feel like your couples ministry has to have its own vision and mission statement, you might as well start your own parachurch ministry. Because if all the ministries in the church don't align to the vision and mission of the church overall, then there's really no reason to have those ministries happen in the church. So we wanted to make sure that we created a couples ministry that aligned with where Saddleback was going and aligned with the vision and mission of that church so that it would help fulfill that vision. So what we did is we decided that for us to make that happen, we had to take the core of what our church was about, and that was the 5 purposes of God, and make those things happen in the context of a marriage relationship, which for us is the 5 purposes of worship, fellowship, discipleship, ministry, and evangelism. And so what we did is we took those 5 things and applied them to marriage, and then put a pathway in place to help couples begin to develop those things in the context of their marriage. So that way we had a pathway for couples that helped them see their marriage as a part of the discipleship process and tied into the overall process that we had in the church for discipleship, which for us happens through small groups and through our life development pathway. To give you an idea for how that works and what we've been telling couples, what I'd like you to do is take a look at this promotional video that we've shown to our church. So take a look at this.
Marriage is boring.
Does she still love me?
We always fight about this.
Is there hope for our finances?
Some of the issues that we're seeing with couples today are things like finances. Couples are struggling with trying to make ends meet. They have problems with communication. They don't know how to talk to one another. Time is a big issue. If you don't have time, you can't communicate. Conflict. They don't know how to handle conflict, and they don't know what they're after when they look at their marriage. They don't know what to build. And so they're struggling with how do we put all the pieces together to figure out a way to get a relationship that's healthy. At Saddleback, we believe a healthy marriage is based on the same things that a healthy church is based on. And so we use the 5 purposes of God.
I'm used to having the 5 purposes in the way I think about my spiritual life. Well, then just to easily adapt that over to the way I think about my married life and my spiritual life in marriage has made a lot easier transition than I thought it would for the spiritual aspect of the marriage.
So worship applied to marriage becomes honor. That I honor my spouse as an act of worship to God. Fellowship becomes relational intimacy, and that's how I have fellowship with my spouse and we relate to one another. Discipleship is spiritual intimacy, and that's how do we help one another to grow together. Ministry becomes partnership, and that's how do we take our unique shapes and who God's created us to be and partner together to serve one another and then to serve other people together. And then the final one is evangelism, and evangelism applied to marriage is message. That every marriage says something about the gospel, whether we're intentional about it or not.
The support from the church and the materials that are provided to our small group, our couples group, have been wonderful in bringing things to light and forcing conversations that we didn't have before we were married.
It's been really good for us in that all the problems that we're having with newlywed life and everything, we're not the only ones that are going through that.
It's really given us opportunity to grow in our marriage and with God and through the church.
For couples that are at Saddleback Church, we have a whole pathway for them. We have date nights so that couples can spend time together. We have Married Life Essentials classes that we do, which are 5 classes we do on a monthly basis that are all standalone that you can come to whenever you want in whatever order you want. We have 5 retreats that we do that are based on those same 5 areas that help give you the skills that you need to begin to make those things happen in your relationship. And then finally, we have small groups, because at Saddleback we believe that as couples you grow your marriage best in the context of community with other couples.
All the problems and issues and stuff and trials that we go through, the Married Life Small Group has really been there to help support us through it, and they were there from day one.
Our prayer for every married couple at Saddleback Church is that they'd understand what God's plan is for marriage, that they'd understand that it's not as difficult as they thought it was, that they'd have confidence in being able to make it happen, and also that they would understand that God designed marriage to make us more like Christ. If you want more information on all the things that we do for couples here at Saddleback, you can go to the website, you can call the office, or you can go and pick up information on the patio. One of the great things that we're trying to do for couples is have a program that's free. So there's no charge for anything that we do. As a matter of fact, if you need child care costs covered, we'll even offer child care vouchers, because we don't want anything to get in the way of couples having a healthy marriage, because we believe that a healthy marriage is grown on purpose. As you can see, we put a pathway in place that helps couples see what their marriage is like in the context of discipleship, as we applied those 5 purposes and put all the pieces in place. Now, we've had great results from this. We've been doing this for 4 years, and we've seen marriages that have been healed. We've seen lives transformed. We've seen couples invite their unchurched friends and neighbors, people who would never step foot on our campus, to come and learn how to have a healthy marriage because they liked what they saw was happening in the people from the church who are going through this process. Now, I know that for many of you, with all the things you have going on in ministry, adding a couples ministry program to it is just one more thing on top of a whole bunch of other things, and it can be overwhelming. What I'd encourage you to do is find another couple in your church who's passionate about marriage and get together with them and put together a process that fits the vision and mission of your church. If you'd like to talk more about this, I'd love to connect with you and help with whatever you're doing, share some of the things that we've learned, and more importantly, learn from some of the things that you're doing. If you'd like to contact me, I'd love to talk to you. My email address is toddo@saddleback.com. That's TODDO @saddleback.com. And feel free to contact me at any time, because like I said, I'd love to learn from you and share some of the things that we're doing. Thanks for all that you're doing in ministry for the kingdom, and God bless you as you continue to seek and to serve Him.